Giddy up now to hell!
Hey guys, my name is Festive Biohazard, the festivest of the biohazards, and here's a story about the first time I ever got scammed. Alright guys, so to start the story off, basically I opened Steam one day to see that I had gotten a friend request from a guy who had no profile picture. His profile was private, and so was his inventory. So naturally, I assumed that this was either a scammer, or it was B, someone who wanted to trade, and thus they had added me. Though the scammer might have seemed a little bit more obvious, I fell for what I believed was a high profile trader. So I accepted the person's friend request, and they had sent me a message stating that they wanted to buy my field tested urban mast gut knife for CSGO. Um, so they said they would trade me one of their items, and they allowed me to look at their inventory. Now, this inventory was extremely expensive. We're talking like a Karambit lore, well worn, but still that's like $300. We're talking like the SSG bulldozer skin. We're talking this guy. He had so many Asimov skins of different varieties for the op. So this guy was loaded, and you know what? I'm pretty sure he got all of it probably from scamming people like me. So, anyways, we started talking, right? And eventually I found a knife of his that I wanted, which was a field tested M9 bayonet, which was the Boreal Forest skin. Um, so this is the part that I want you guys to pay very close attention to, because what I'm about to tell you is probably one of the oldest scams in the book, yet it's probably one of the scams that most people fall for nowadays. All right. So basically, this was the classic middleman scam, in which this guy that was trading with had a buddy of his who was acting as a Steam rep, someone who worked at Valve, and they were going to act as a middleman in between this trade. Now, he got me to do this by telling me that basically he wanted this apparently trusted guy to check if my skin was either clean or dirty, and I was kind of, desperate for the knife. I wasn't thinking real clear when I did this. I was kind of hoping that, this isn't really a scammer. I was hoping that this would be like a real trade, but that's never the case with these types of situations. So, yeah, I decided to go along with this in hopes that this was a legitimate trade. So, I added this apparently trusted Steam representative that he knew, and we got into a group chat and we started talking about the trade, my knife for his knife. And so I had traded my knife to this buddy of his, and apparently he had traded his knife to the middleman, which was obviously false. So, yeah, the knives got traded to this middleman, or at least mine, and the next thing I knew, the middleman was asking me for a tip to apparently receive my knife, and of course, I knew this was fishy, but I was really, really desperate for the knife. I was really in the market for a new one, and this seemed like a perfect opportunity. I probably should have been a little bit more careful, because the next thing I knew, I was giving this guy tips, and I'm not going to specify what the tips were. But I'm going to say in the long haul, I probably lost around $66 worth of items, so that was pretty crap. But after that whole thing happened, something kind of funny occurred. See, the guy I knew at the point where I'd given away all of this money, all these skins, that he had scammed me. So I'm chatting with this guy over Steam, like, hey man, it worked. You know what? Congratulations, you just scammed me. You got my knife. I just really wish you wouldn't do this to other people. This is really crap. And it's really funny what he said. I'll show you a transcript now of the exact uh, messages that he sent me, the speech that he gave me, and what we just started texting back and forth. But basically, he was laughing in my face, and I was taking it in. And you know what? I didn't get mad. I didn't get upset. I didn't want revenge or anything. I was actually feeling kind of, I guess you could say, joyous. Not really for the fact I got scammed, but mainly for the fact that this guy, what he was doing was so childish that it just made me laugh. With everything he said to me, he was taunting me. He was saying "you're dumb" in broken English. He was laughing at me, and the next thing I know, we're like talking like we're friends. And as you can see in the transcript, we're talking, and he wants me to go to his YouTube and his Facebook and like add him and just follow him. And he kind of offered to allow me into this little ring of scamming he does. But I, of course, denied because scamming people is such a dick move, and I did not want any part of this because the feeling that most people get from this is horrible. You feel bad that you got scammed out of all this money. I should feel horrible. I currently don't. At the time of recording this, actually, the scam happened maybe about 20 minutes or so. So it really hasn't been that long. And I found that I really don't care what I got scammed out of. I just realized, hey, it's items. I was acting stupid. Oh, look, I can make a good YouTube video out of this. So that's why I'm recording this now. But basically, guys, to sum this whole story up, I got added by someone who I didn't know. I couldn't find out who they were. I fell for their middleman scam, lost some money. You know, I kind of accepted it, and I've actually moved on from this point right now. But the whole reason I'm making this video is I want to tell you guys the ways not to get scammed. I want to show you what exactly this person did, how they did it, and how I lost my knife, and how you should react. So I'm going to go over that right now. Alright, guys, so rule number one of not getting scammed. If someone adds you and you don't know who they are, none of your friends know who they are, they're just some random person. If their profile is private, if they don't have a profile picture, it doesn't matter what their inventory is full of. It might be privatized, so if they're completely anonymous and you don't know who they are, just don't add them. The only reason I did is because right before this person added me, another person had added me who was a high profile CSGO skin trader. And the only reason they added me is because they wanted to trade for my knife, which eventually ended up getting scammed out of me. But I seriously believed that this guy might have some items that could be worth my time. But guys, if you don't know them, don't add them, alright? They're probably a scammer. They're just someone who wants to add you because they like your inventory or you're a high level on Steam. Whatever the case is, if you don't know them, don't add them. Alright, guys, rule number two of getting scammed: never fall for the classic scams in the book. Alright, so before I started playing some CSGO, I played a lot of TF2, right? And through trading on TF2, I have learned the various scams that people have used to get items, very expensive items, out of multiple people. And some of these scams include quick switching, middleman, or acting as a Valve employee or a Steam representative. Guys, unless you have a trusted middleman or there's someone who has a really good reputation for being a middleman that actually has received credit for being a middleman, don't ever trust someone when they say they want you to use a middleman, all right? Because chances are they probably have a buddy or a Steam friend who is acting with them who is only in it to scam you out of your items. So, rule number two: if there's a middleman and you don't trust them or you don't know them, don't do the trade. Back out. Just don't do it because most middlemen are just working with the scammers, all right, guys? All right. So, rule number three of how to not get scammed: if the person you are trading with asks you to send your items to a trusted or an official middleman, and they just say that they want to check your items if they're clean or dirty, guys, there is no software out there to do that, all right? One reason I fell for this is because I had seen that the person was using a software called like Skin Database Inspector or something. Guys, if it's a software that's not on Steam and they're using some third-party software like that just sounds bullcrap. Don't trust them. They're obviously a scammer. Again, I did it because I was desperate. It was in the heat of the moment, and basically, I just shouldn't have done that. So, rule number 3, there is no such thing as a clean or dirty inspector. There's ways to tell if an item is clean or dirty, but there's no one inspector, not one official person who can just immediately tell you because they have some sort of software. It's a scam. Don't fall for it. Don't be fooled by it, all right? All right, and I think rule number 4 of how not get scammed is check the person you're trading with, all right? So the two people who were involved in this scam against me was one person whose profile was completely anonymous, and I was kind of fishy about them. You know, I was kind of having that weird feeling that I probably shouldn't trust this guy, but I wanted to so desperately. But the second person I traded with was probably the reason the scam worked, and it's probably one of the biggest things that I want you guys to avoid. So listen up closely. If you're looking at someone who's involved in a trade with you, check to make sure that they aren't using someone else's profile. Check to make sure they haven't taken someone else's description, name, profile, use that. Because I fell for this mainly because I believe the middleman who I was being traded with, I believed for a real minute that they were an official middleman, that they were someone people could trust. And the reasons why is because one, they said they worked at Valve. Guys, no one from Valve is going to approach you over the Steam chat, all right, guys? They're not going to do it. They'll approach you via email, via some other form, but not over a Steam message. Valve doesn't have time to be the middleman in your trades. So if they say they're a Valve employee, don't trust them because they're a scammer. But unfortunately for me, in the heat of the moment, I believed they were a Valve employee or a Steam representative, and it wasn't until after that I found out that those things don't really exist. So basically, guys, make sure that the person you're trading with, or the middleman who is involved in this trade, make sure their profile is legit. Ask them for proof that they can show you that they're an official representative, they're an official middleman. Ask for proof, guys. Make sure that they aren't fishy, that they aren't a scammer. There were some signs that had misled me and some signs that I was kind of aware of and was kind of, a little bit weirded out by. The first thing was that both of the guys who were training with me, they both used broken English, even when they were telling me that, this middleman worked for Valve. Instead of saying Valve Corporation, they said Valve Cooperating. Guys, if they're using broken English, chances are they're probably a foreigner whose first language is not English, and thus they are probably in it to scam you, especially in the situation I was in, which I was completely weirded out by the entire time. Another sign, though, that actually misled me was that this guy, this middleman on his profile down in the comments said, like, people had added him for the trade. People had added him because they said he was a middleman in the comments. They're like, thanks for the trade. Thank you for helping me in this trade. Thanks for being the middleman. I'm guessing that this is some sort of deception to lull people into the sense of security so that they will believe that this person is legit. But guys, look for those little signs. Look for those signs that you just don't have the right feeling about. If they're using broken English, if their profile was privated before they add you, if they want to use a middleman, if they're just acting weird or they're rushing you or they're pressuring you, guys, it's a scammer, alright? So, to finish off this video, I just want to tell you guys how I reacted to this, what I did about this, and just kind of how it affected me personally. So, normally in a situation like this, when someone is scammed, they're obviously going to feel tremendous sadness, hatred, a feeling of hopelessness that, oh, I've lost everything I used my money on that I traded for so many hours. Um, and I just want to give my sympathy out to those people who have lost these items because now I understand the feeling. I understand this feeling of hopelessness. But I only experienced these feelings for a short time after I had been scammed. And then I started thinking about how ridiculous this situation was and how my own stupidity was the cause that I lost these items. And I'm just kind of thinking that I probably should have followed the signs, that I shouldn't have trusted these people. But again, I was really desperate in the moment. I wanted to trade this knife, and I had seriously believed that this person was an official middleman. So basically, I didn't react how most people would. I kind of just laughed it off, like I am doing now. That's why I'm making this YouTube video. Not just for entertainment, though. Like, I'm making it for a serious purpose, but this is really pretty funny when you think about it. Um, so really that's all I have to say in this video. Basically, I just wanted to show you guys what happened, how you can avoid these scammers, and how you can react. Um, if you do get scammed in the future, guys, don't get mad, don't get upset. Think about how it went down. Think about how you can react to this and just remain calm. It's not the end of the world unless you've kind of lost, like $1,000 worth of items, in which, yes, you have the right to feel this panic, this hopelessness, but I guarantee you that it will be better. Guys, reach out to Steam, alright? Now, I know their customer service is not satisfactory, alright? Just give it a chance. Reach out to them, ask for help, see if what you can do to get your items back. Report the scammer, alright? Don't let them get away with this. Alright, and especially look for those signs, guys. Look for those signs that they are a scammer and all they want is your items. Finally, to tie this all off, I just want to say to any future scammers, any scammer who might be watching this, or anyone who's thinking of becoming a scammer, guys, don't do it, okay? This is how dirty items come into the world. This is how you make people feel horrible. This is how people lose their money. This is how you upset people. All right, scamming is a serious issue in the Steam community, and no one wants it to be there, except the people who are in to get the money from it. That's what this is all about, getting the skins, the money, but scamming just isn't the way to do it, guys. It's stealing, it's dishonest, it's deceptive, and it's downright just a dick move, all right? All scammers out there, I'm saying this to you. I'm saying that what you are doing is not all right, and really just stop it, okay? Basically, the Steam community would be so much better without these scammers. We would never have to worry about this protection. We wouldn't have had to create escrow, the mobile authenticator, but because people have been scamming, we've had to add all these security measures to prevent things like happening, and it's still happening out there, scammers. All right, you guys are doing horrible things, and the sad part is it's working. It's working on idiots like me, but please, I just ask of you, stop what you're doing. It's not all right. It's just stealing from people, all right? Uh, that's all I'm going to say, guys. I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you learned a little something about scammers, how to avoid it. And honestly, guys, it's really just common sense. Don't act in the heat of the moment. Don't act out of desperation. Don't act because someone has really good skins. Think through this trade, all right? Look for the signs, man. That's all you have to do. Just look for the signs, and you'll know whether or not they're a scammer. Alright, guys, one more thing before the video ends. I am planning to release my next SFM sometime within a day or two. It is my determination, which is actually this Undertale and TF2 crossover. So for the people who aren't here for the SFM, you don't have to worry about that, but just stick around, you might try and like it. If you're not into that, don't bother about this. Really, I just wanted to share what happened to me, but for those of you who do return to this channel who want to see these animations, just letting you know that I haven't forgot about you guys. It's coming out, all right? It's taking a lot of time. I think it so far is probably my longest and my best SFM. So that's just a little update, but rather than that, that's all I got for this video. So I hope you guys enjoyed. I hope to see you all real soon, and I hope that you stick around if you like my animations. And don't get scammed, guys. Have some good luck. It's me, Festive Biohazard, and I'm signing out.